have never been grabbed like that on my feet, like ever. Yo, what's good, you guys? It's your girl Drea Rozayyy, bringing you guys another video. And on today's episode, I'm gonna be telling you guys about a guy that I dated that had a foot fetish. And let me just say, I had no idea he did, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it got a little weird, and yeah, I just felt uncomfortable. And as I'm telling you guys the story, I'm gonna be getting ready. I actually have to go out in a little bit, so I kind of want to do like a simple like sunset look. So I actually already did my eyebrows and foundation, so I just need the rest. So let's jump right in. I usually do my makeup with the mirror like right in front of my face, so it is a little far right now, but it's okay. Guys, I'm finally using my cup. If you saw my last video, then you know. So, what are we gonna name this boy? Let's name him Bob. So we'll just call him Bobby. So I met this boy online, right? And everything was cool. Like, our conversations, you know, they were friendly. But we were like kind of like getting to know each other, you know, to see if it can go maybe somewhere like more than just a friendship. So, you know, we would talk on the phone and text and stuff like that. Like, everything was fine. Nothing was weird. Like, and he seemed like a nice guy. He sang in the chorus at church. So, you know, I was like, oh, okay. That's why I gave him the time of the day, because I'm like, okay, you know, he's not a jerk. Like, he's respectful. He doesn't say, like, nothing sexual to me or anything. So in my head, I started thinking, like, oh, okay, you know, I'm going to meet this boy someday, and we're going to get along just great. And at the time, I thought he was cute and everything. You know, he dressed well, and he was kind of like a Christian rapper, actually. And at that time, I wasn't really like familiar with Christian rappers. Like, I didn't know that was a thing until like I heard his music, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, he got some verses like hallelujah, you know. So me and this boy, we start planning on when to see each other and all that. You know, we don't go to the same schools. And at the time, I was in another county, he was in another county. So it was a little hard. Luckily, at that time, I did have a car, he didn't. So I kind of like had to go to him. And basically, that's how we planned it. You know, I was going to go to him. But I was honestly very nervous to go meet him. Like I said, I met him online, so I was like, ooh, you know, social anxiety starts kicking in, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm a little scared. So I had the brilliant idea to take my friends with me. I took my good friend Jessica and Leslie with me. We were actually skipping school. I'm not sure if he was still in school. I can't remember. But, I mean, if he was, then I guess he skipped school too. Oh, yeah, I think he did. And he even said, like, oh, yeah, my parents aren't home. Like, just come through over here. But, you know, I told him, I was like, oh, yeah, I don't want to, like, go inside your house and stuff, you know? Like, let's just hang out outside or whatever. Because I'm like, I know you, but I don't know you. So he agreed, you know, he said, yeah, all right, come through. So the date comes to finally meet Bobby, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm hella nervous. So I'm over here trying to get all cute and stuff, you know. Because it's obviously someone I've been getting along with. So, you know, I want to look cute. And I specifically remember that day was kind of chilly. So I wore some, like, winter boots. They were like some booties. And, you know, I thought I looked all cute and stuff, so I was like, cool, you know. I texted my friends. I told them, like, be ready at such time. I'm gonna go pick y'all up. Oh, and by the way, I'm using the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. So anyways, I'm on the way to pick him up, and my nerves are, like, through the roof. I'm like, but, you know. We're on the way to his house, jamming out to some music. So we finally get to his house, and I park right in front of his house. And he comes out, and like, Honestly, it was already like awkward just because my friends were there. So it's like, they were my support system, but at the same time it's like I'm nervous meeting him, and then I'm nervous my friends are seeing me meet him. So I'm like, oh my god, like it's just a whole freaking mess. Too many goddamn people there. I would say in his pictures though, he did look better, but I was like, cool, I mean, he wasn't terrible looking. So, he comes out, we hug it out, this and that, and he gives me like a pretty tight hug and everything. Because my friends, they were actually sitting in the car, so, we didn't want to just stand right there, them listening to all our conversation. So we kind of like start walking down the street. Apparently, there was like this little like neighborhood park. So, we go there, just to conversate a little bit. So me and Bobby, we start talking. Everything's cool. And then Bobby, he's telling me like, oh, you look cute today, this and that. But I see him that he keeps like looking at my shoes for some reason. And I'm just like, why? Like I just thought that was weird, but I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, so we're talking, just having a regular conversation. And as we're talking, he's still looking at my feet. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, why? But I didn't say nothing. So he's over here flirting with me a little bit, and I'm flirting back. But he actually kept it very respectful. So I actually really liked that. So we were there for a while, but I also didn't want to take like such a long time because, like I said, my friends were in the car just waiting on me. And obviously his parents were gonna get home at any time. So we decide to start walking back to his house. And as we're walking back, he like hugs me. And I'm just like, being all shy. And then he drops it on me. We kind of stop like on the side of the street, and like he kind of like hugs me. And we're like face to face and stuff. And he tells me, why are you wearing closed shoes? I can't remember if he said, why are you wearing those shoes, or why are you wearing closed shoes? And I was just so confused. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, because it's chilly? And he's like, well, it's not that cold. I'm like, well, I thought it was cold. That's why I wore this. And he's like, oh, okay. And that was that. Like, he let it go. So I get back in the car with my girls, and obviously they're asking me like, oh, how'd it go? What did he do? What did he say? This and that, And it's like, out of the whole like conversation, that's like the main thing that stood out to me. And I was like, yeah, he asked me like why I wore these shoes, like, cause he sounded almost like upset that I wore those shoes. And I'm like, okay, like, am I not allowed? And they were like, what the hell? Like, that's kind of weird. And I'm like, I know. And I'm like, and he kept looking at my shoes. Like, he was just more focused on my shoes than anything. So that was that, that was the only like weird thing. So after that first little meeting, we continued talking. So then we were actually planning on meeting again, but this time without my friends. And we decided to go to the movies. And like I said, he didn't have a car, so he actually got his mom to drop him off. So that day came, and it was actually kind of hot outside. So this is when, flats were like very popular, those like shoes that you just like slip on. So I had like every color of those. And that day, like, it wasn't hot, but it wasn't cold. So I was like, cool, I'm just gonna wear my little flats. It looked perfect with my outfit, so I'm like, that's what I'm just gonna wear. So I get to the movies, and I actually got there maybe like 10 minutes before him. My dude, you was supposed to be on time, but whatever. His mama was dropping him off, so he pulls up in the front. I'm already standing like outside the theater. And he gets off the car really quickly. And he's like, oh, if my mom asks, like, say you're paying for your own ticket. because of course he was gonna pay for my ticket. But he was like, just if she asks, you know, just tell my mom you're paying. But she actually never did. And, you know, we just waved at each other. And that was that. So we go into the theater. And we get in line to get some drinks and some popcorn. And he seems like really happy to see me. I mean, I was happy too, you know, I ain't gonna front. And we go to the theater room. I can't even remember, like, what movie we watched. But we watched some movies. So anyways, we're in the movies and, you know, we're eating our little popcorn, having a little small talk right before the movie because we were a little early. He's telling me, like, that he's been thinking about me, this and that. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. I was just like, okay, Bobby. I mean, boy, I don't blame you, but... So the movie starts, he holds my hand, and then eventually he starts getting like closer, and he puts his arm around me. So I'm like over here like this, you know, watching the movie. So guys, this is when it starts getting a little weird. So, you know, the movie's still playing. Hold on guys, I gotta concentrate right now putting this lash on. So Bobby moves in for the first kiss, and I'm just like, and he just like. So anyways, we start kissing, right? And at first it was just like little pecks, you know, nothing crazy. We are seated like all the way in the back, like against the wall, and there's like no one sitting back there with us. So, you know, we kind of like start making out. Guys, can you believe this boy? We're kissing, right? Literally making out. All that action. Well, not that I was waiting for it or I was hoping he would like or anything like that. But can you guys guess where he did caress? Where he wanted to grab me? Where he wanted to feel me while he's making out with me? Like full blown making out with me? Girl. Hold on, let me take a sip of this. Bobby went straight to my feet. Straight to my feet. Like in my head, I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, why? Why is he touching my feet? Like, why is he all over my feet? Like, literally, like I said, I had flats. He put his hand inside my shoe and was all over it. So we're literally like making out up here, and like this hand is like down here. So we're kind of like making out like this, like at an angle, and he's like feeling on my feet with one of his hand, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So at first I thought it was like weird, so I kind of like, I moved my foot, you know, but he kept like insisting, and the only time he would like grab my leg is to move my leg towards him so my feet can be near him. And I'm just like, what the hell? So since he was like all over my feet, like I already felt uncomfortable, so I kind of like stopped kissing him and stuff. And that was that, right? So we're still watching the movie. He's grabbing my hand. And then, you know, we end up kissing again. And y'all, the same thing happened. The same thing was happening. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, this is weird. Why is he like touching my feet? I was like, man, I hope they ain't all crusty and stuff, you know? I'm like, I should have prepared for this moment. Came with a fresh pedicure and everything. I'm getting so turned off about this, and it was the complete opposite for him. Like, he was hella turned on. Like, he started kissing me like very aggressively as he's touching my feet though. So like pretend this is my foot. He was literally going like this. Like this, guys, like all over my foot, not just like the bottom, the top, like. And then he tried taking my shoe off, like literally he tried taking my shoe off, and I'm like, no. And he's like, it's fine. I'm like, no. And then I stopped, and I kind of like, he kind of like slipped it out, so I had to like put my foot on the ground to put it back on. And I'm like, no, like, I'm good. Like, don't do that. But at that point, I didn't care, because I was like, this is getting weird. Like, this is not fun anymore. So to play it off, I was like, oh, you're tickling me, which he kind of was, but not really. But I was like, yeah, it's you're tickling me. Like, can you stop? But I was just like, this is so weird, because it's like, out of my whole body, you just want to touch my feet. Like, that's all he wanted to touch. I have never been grabbed like that on my feet, like, ever. So I was like, whoa, that's too much. I was not trying to let him like touch my feet anymore, because it was so weird. Like, I'm telling you, he would like even squeeze my feet and like my toes. Like, he never got my shoe off, but somehow he was able to like fit his little skinny fingers where my toes were at and like fucking touch him. And ooh, it was just so weird. As I'm making out, I'm over here trying to concentrate, but I can't, because he's like all over my feet, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, yeah, it was so weird. So obviously, like, after that, I was like, I cannot see Bobby no more, because he's just a little weird for me. If we was ever to do the dirty, like, he'd probably just be all over my feet. He wouldn't even want to like do anything else. Like, I'm surprised he didn't get on his knees, started on my feet right there in the movie theaters. He probably would if I would have let him, but I didn't even let him take my shoe out, because I was like, boy, like, calm your ass down. You're doing too much. So yeah, after that, I just stopped answering him, and I just never talked to him again, because I don't know, it was weird. And I'm sure he like knows why. It was just such a turn off. Like, he's probably that guy paying for your feet pics. That's who's buying them. He got a whole album full of feet pics. Oh goodness. Have you guys ever experienced like a fetish like that? I mean, I know there's a lot more fetishes out there, but I feel like that's like the only one that I've like experienced. I mean, I did date a guy that would like chew paper, like toilet paper. Does that count? Is that a fetish? I don't know. But I thought it was weird too. Let me show you guys a little close-up of the makeup. I thought it came out pretty good. Alright, so I actually have to go, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick story time. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I do post Tuesdays and Thursdays. Also, hit that bell button next to the subscribe button. That way you guys get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and with that being said, I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!